Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we are going to talk about the time that I completed the Arathi Basin in less than 6 minutes with a completely hammered team of dwarves. So to cut a long story short, one night me and my friend were queuing up for PvP. We were in the middle of the Pandaren expansion, and we felt like, hey, what would be a great way to spend some of our end of season alt time? Oh, we'll focus in on basically getting ourselves into some PvP. So we thought, you know what, we might as well give it a try, see what happens, and just end up having a good time. We started with a little bit of random battlegrounds, and in the course of this, we managed to pull the Arathi Basin. Now, for people who don't know, the Arathi Basin is one of the cruelest, most painful PvP / just World of Warcraft experiences ever. It is one of the worst situations a player can find themselves in if they don't know what's going on. You can just very rapidly end up horribly confused, running into the middle of nowhere, doing nothing, and just getting your ass kicked in PvP. So we joined the Arathi Basin, and in that time, we saw that there were a group of players with all similarly named dwarves. They were named Svensson, Mawson, Torberson, basically a derivative of all of those kind of Swedish names. This was pretty crazy. We were like, oh, okay, interesting, there must be a group of players. We asked them, and they were hammered drunk. They invited us to their TeamSpeak. We joined their server, and I cannot phrase this better, but they were pretty much blackout drunk. They had no idea what they were saying. It felt like I was speaking to someone who was speaking Welsh at the time. There was no coherence in the words they were saying. They were losing their minds, and basically we understood absolutely nothing of what they were saying. And this made us fear for our lives. We had just started playing PvP, and needless to say, we had lost quite a few random battlegrounds back to back to back to back. So the fear was that ultimately we were going to end up in a situation where we were going to just basically be absolute flops when it comes to PvP. Nonetheless, though, the match started, and these guys ran like a well-oiled machine. I cannot state this or understate this. They were like watching a Black Ops team take out a third world leader. Like, they were just so slick, so smooth. They were calling out places to go without any form of coherence. They were calling out everywhere to go. Go here, move there, take this point, go there, group up, do this. And no matter how drunk they were so smooth, so well managed, that they basically just absolutely hammered the opposition. We didn't even know what had hit us, let alone what had hit the opposition. These guys were just making move after move, moving through the different nodes, moving through the different sections, sub-boss down, next boss down, third boss down, fourth boss down, boom, take this point, boom, take that point, boom, clear this. Oh, we need to stop here, we're gonna hold up, we're gonna take them out as they round the corner. Bang, bang, bang. And all of this with the drunken slur of a sailor that had just made his way to port. It was amazing. I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I hadn't played a lot of PvP, so to see like people who essentially had lost the ability to speak the English language absolutely slaughter other groups of people in PvP was the most confusing time for me. Needless to say, we absolutely slaughtered the opposition. It was at about 10 to 1 in the morning when we started the Arathi Basin, and we won, honestly, at about 5 minutes to 1. It literally was almost under 5 minutes, I think. It was incredibly insane. And it's the only win to this day that I've ever got in the Arathi Basin. And I've played the Arathi Basin quite a few times. It is one of my most memorable World of Warcraft experiences. I will never, ever, ever forget the experience of that. I'll never forget this feeling of seeing these absolutely drunk, hammered players just decimate other players. And I know it was a random battleground. I know it wasn't like organized PvP. It wasn't rated PvP. It was, just randoms. It was just this. But it was one of those experiences in World of Warcraft that I cannot even explain to players. Like the strange feeling you get when you see people just move in this perfect unison. It was like almost watching a mythic raid group, but it was a bunch of drunk Danish men. It was amazing. And yeah, I just found it to be such a memorable experience. And since I've recently started doing some random battlegrounds in an attempt to kind of warm myself back into PvP, I just thought, I have to remember this moment. It's just one of those moments that makes you think like, wow, only in this game can I experience these kind of human interactions. I think it's one of the really, really, really rare things. And we played a couple more battlegrounds with them. They invited us to party. We still had no idea what they were saying at any given point in time. We literally couldn't understand a single word. They got progressively more and more drunk. And the final PvP match of the night was in Void of the Storm. So Eye of the Storm. And we cleaned up again. Flurry absolutely hammered them. Won the game in 6 minutes. It was insane. And the thing is with that is we won it so quickly, but everyone was so drunk by that point that they couldn't actually function. They didn't even have the ability to speak, yet we still won the game in such riveting fashion. So it was really thrilling. Like I said, it's one of those moments where I'll never forget the time I tried a random battleground PvP in Mists of Pandaria, because of that experience, of that feeling of having these other players, these drunk, horrendously blackout drunk other players, carry you to some of the coolest, strangest achievements that I have, that I just will never ever reasonably be able to do again. I think that is one of the beauties of World of Warcraft. So I'd love to hear your guys' stories and sharing about how have you ever had these experiences in World of Warcraft? But for me, it was a really incredible time, and yeah, just a ton of fun. But that's it from me. See you guys next time.